So I kind of forgot to tell everyone who doesn't look at my community post that I took a Thanksgiving break because I wanted to spend time with family and yada yada. But here is Bakugou. I do have to tell you guys that I will be working on a villain listener for Kirishima. So yeah, but anyways, here is this. The dismissal bell rung throughout the halls of UA High School. The students began getting ready to head home for the day, packing their items up and walking with their friends. Unless you're Katsuki Bakugou. He usually ended his school days carefree, well, as carefree as he could be. This day in particular, however, he was extremely pissed off. That damn Deku. His friends were trying to catch up with him. But since Bakugou made it very clear he seriously didn't want them around him right now, they stayed in their distance. He was so pent up with rage he could barely focus on anything else but emotions he's trying to neglect. Unfortunately for him, there was someone that was unfocused walking in the same hall as him. His name was Yin. He was more interested in reading some papers than actually paying attention to where he was going, causing the pair to bump into each other. Bakugou barely stumbled back, but Yen got knocked down completely. Bakugou didn't have to recover to start his storm of yelling. "Watch where you're going, you!" Katsuki couldn't finish his sentence. He felt all his anger wash away as the scene of calmness was replaced in an instant. He couldn't tell at all, so he just watched the stranger recollect themselves and pick up their fallen papers. Whatever they were doing to him, he didn't like it. It could have been their quirk. It made Bakugou think, with a quirk like that, why wasn't he seen around them? It would make great practice to fight a guy like this. That way he'd be pretty against quirk that are possible to control people. Damn, sorry. I had used my quirk on you, but maybe it's the best. You seem pretty stressed. Bakugou could have scoffed it if he could. Instead, he asked for an answer. This guy was definitely strong, even if he didn't look it. "Hey, haven't I heard of you? What class are you in? Why aren't you in the hero course?" Yin was busy putting the papers he had in his bag. Probably wasn't the best idea to read and walk at the same time. Once he finished, he turned his attention to Bakugou. He chuckled at him. "You aren't very bright, are you?" Bakugou could feel his fire coming back. Either this guy was loosening his grip on purpose, or he wasn't as strong as he thought. That dumbass had the nerve to call him an idiot when he was the one with the genius idea to read and walk at the same time. He groaned. "Just answer the damn question." Ian looked rekindled, but obeyed. "I have 3 reasons. Number 1, my quirk isn't as strong as you think it is. That could easily be fixed with more training," Bakugou thought, but that let them continue on their stupid reason. "Number 2, my quirk works better for supporting, not fighting, which brings me to my 3rd reason, that I'm not the biggest guy around, so I couldn't support my quirk that well, even if I was strong. I really just make a better sidekick." Bakugou couldn't believe the nerve of this guy. Why was he doubting himself so much? Without the both of them noticing, Bakugou's squad had appeared earlier on the scene. "Hey, don't feel bad that you couldn't keep Bakugou down for long. His anger is almost never ending." Denki spoke out teasingly. Bakugou almost blew his ass up right then and there. He didn't have the time for these dorks right now. "I actually agree with Dinky. You shouldn't feel bad. My quirk doesn't last that long when I burn all my stamina," Kirishima added. "Not to mention, your quirk makes you go all dumb once you use too much, Dinky. I mean, a pointed out, as to say he really didn't have the right to tease Bakugo. Hey, Denki whined. Bakugo was getting tired of hearing everyone complain. Idiots, every quirk has its drawbacks. That's why you work hard and train, he yelled back at his friends, who finally shut up. At least now they would have interrupted him again. He turned back to the stranger he ran into. He looked just as surprised as his friends, but a small, meek smile grew on his lips. It was like he didn't know what to do now. What to do now. He considered what Bakugo was saying, but it was changing his whole view of everything. And to answer your previous question, I'm in Class 1C, the support class. That's probably why you haven't seen me around. I didn't participate in the sports festival. Bakugo was confused. There was a chance that this dumbass could prove himself. Did he really doubt himself that much? On the other hand, he seemed like a reasonable reason on why he didn't know him. But Bakugou could have sworn he would have noticed a guy like this. I think I'm gonna go now. Bakugou didn't even try to stop him. He probably had a lot to think about. But deep down, Bakugou hoped this wasn't the last time they'd cross paths. They turned around to leave, but not without Bakugou asking one more question. Wait. Let me ask you one more question before you leave. Yin turned around as to signal to Bakugou to go ahead. What's your name? He opened his mouth to answer. Bakugou, I can't speak. Bakugou's curiousness, but a certain someone beat him to the punch. Lin. Denki yelped, seeing a kind of scary, familiar face. Or maybe this sudden voice spooked him. Whenever it was, Bakugou just saw him as another extra, and now an annoyance. Oh, sorry, Shinzo. Yin turned to the other student from Class 1C. Yin spared one last glance at the red-eyed, ash-blonde boy before leaving with Shinzo. Bakugou couldn't believe anything couldn't believe anything that just happened. That Yin sure did pique his interest. Even if he didn't piss him off at the same time, he couldn't help but stare at him as he walked away with Hitoshi Shinzo of all people. The air went silent for a while. Why did he care so much? He furiously shook his head, trying to forget everything that just occurred. It didn't happen. He didn't care. His group could tell that he was upset, so they all exchanged glances to confirm that they'd all tribute into helping him. Kirishima tried first, wrapping his arms around Katsuki's shoulders with his signature grin. Don't worry about it, man. Bakugou's face scarred up. I'm not worried. Then don't be upset about it either, then, Zero chimed in. Bakugou just rolled his eyes. Just like that, he let the strange boy Yin slip through his fingers for now. Even if he said that he didn't care, Bakugou began acting strangely. He wasn't as angry or explosive. He didn't even pick on Deku. It was clear to everyone that something was eating him up. No one dared to ask what was wrong, though. Well, no one except for his closest of friends. Carrie went up to his desk during a free period. Katsuki just seemed to be staring into space with his head in his hands. He pulled up a chair to his desk, poking him. Bakugou just stared at him with a glance, not even growling in annoyance. Kirishima looked at him, dumbfounded. Okay, he seriously needed to help out, so he'd been his usual self. It wasn't good to see him like this. He wasn't just being calm for once. Something was wrong. Dude, you've been acting weird for a few days now. What's been on your mind, man? Bakugou contemplated telling him. Even if he did trust Kirishima, he just didn't know what to do. He wasn't ever like this. It was that damn Lin that was making him this way. Hey. Bakugou looked up to see that his hand was on his shoulders. Was one of a friend. Why would Kirishima ever judge him? Plus, that damn stupid smile was convincing enough. Fine, you want to know? Kirishima nodded, demurely. Bakugou mentally prepared himself for this. Okay, just don't say anything about this to anyone, got it? Kirishima just rolled his eyes playfully and chuckled. Like I would. I can't stop thinking about that dumbass Lin. Kirishima blinked. That's what had him worked up these past few days? He would have never guessed. That guy you bumped into? Huh? I didn't think you'd care about the whole ordeal all that much. I thought so too. Kirishima pondered for a few minutes. Why don't you just go talk to him? I'll even go with you just in case Shinso's around. Bakugou considered this. He had to get these things off his mind and his chest. Bakugou scoffed, looking at his friend. Kiri was right. He should do that. Yeah, let's do it. Hurry up, Katsuki yelled at Kirishima, who was packing up. It was the end of the day, and it was time to put their plans into action. Kiri just laughed. What's the rush? Kiri caught up with Katsuki, sliding his bag around his shoulder. They began walking the halls, this time focused. The walk was mostly just Kirishima rambling. Of course Bakugou was listening, but he was looking for something. And that something turned the corner into the exact hallway he was in. There he is. Kirishima paused his ranting and looked. It was Lin. He seemed to be off in La La Land, alone, but Shinso could show up out of anywhere show up out of nowhere like last time. You can stand back, Kiri. Kirishima just gave a nod, leaning against the walls as Bakugou walked up to Yin. Before he could bump into him again, Bakugou spoke up. Hey, Lin. He looked up, gasping when he saw Katsuki. Katsuki smirked. Where's your boyfriend? My what? Oh, do you mean Shinso? Yin asked, laughing profusely. His face dropped. No, we're just training partners. Bakugou ached his brow in confusion and concern. That was a complete change in mood. Whatever, I need to talk to you. Yin's face lit up. Oh hey, I wanted to talk to you too. Bakugou made his ironic confused face. He didn't really know what to say, as he didn't think this far ahead. Hearing Kirishima snicker behind him made Bakugou just go for it. Look, it pisses me off to see you have a quirk like you do and not use it for the fullest. So that's why. He looked into Lin's eye-colored eyes. Katsuki knew he could do it, that he had to dive. He was just scared that he was going to change right here, right now. So that's why he growled, I'm your new training partner. What? Yin and Kirishima yelled in unison. Kirishima was shocked, but Yin smiled and was excited. Yeah, you damn nerd. You're gonna get you into 1A so I can take you down myself. Okay. And don't even try and say no. Yin laughed. You are just in your own little world, aren't you? I said. Okay. Of course you did. I know you're not a complete idiot. He scoffed, crossing his arms. Bakugou had a whole speech prepared, but apparently he didn't need it. He was actually kind of glad. However, hearing two idiots gasp snapped him out of his happiness. Did you just compliment someone? And me, of all people? Yin grinned. Bakugou's eyes widened in fear and realization. No. Kirishima was snickering in the background. You did so. Bakugou still continued, the distant attempt to deny it. No, I didn't. Aw, it's okay, man. Kirishima teased, nudging him. Yin chuckled. Bakugou was starting to get flustered, making his face red. Both of you shut the hell up before I kill you. That's the story of how Yin met the one, the only, Katsuki Bakugou. Katsuki believed in him. They worked hard together, and they did it. Yin got into class 1A. They grew close and even became good friends. Well, nowadays, there were more than that. They were boyfriends, and nobody knew. It was actually pretty funny. When Katsuki first realized he had feelings for Yin, he thought he was using his quirk on him. That was not the case at all. Katsuki prepared to keep the relationship a secret. Yes, he really did like Yin, but he didn't want any drama that could possibly come about with people knowing. Yin could understand that. He just didn't want anything to get in the way of the things he actually cared about. People would make a big deal about it, especially the Baku squad. They should be focused on school. Yin also couldn't help but feel like Katsuki was being a bit protective over him. I mean, even if Yin has gone strong enough to to the point he can almost hold his own against his boyfriend, he was a bit tiny. It was a bit amusing. He could appreciate the gestures. He knew it wasn't because Katsuki was trying to baby him, but considered it might be one of the reasons he didn't want to tell. Katsuki knew Yin could take care of himself, but that doesn't mean he couldn't have his back. The weekend was upon 1A students, letting them have their small rests in between vigorous training. Some still trained during this time, however. Slam. My back hit the solid ground, making me choke out an oof of pain as I was training with my boyfriend, and he didn't hold back at all at that. Not that I wanted him to, but I really think he might kill me one of these days. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm proud of my boyfriend. Is so strong. I'm getting better at this, although hopefully my back won't have to endure too much more pain. Come on, I know you can do better than that. Katsuki loomed tall over me. I knew I could too, but pushing myself to your limits is a bit of a risky thing. I'm a human being after all, and even if I hated admitting it or not, I was a bit of lower stature. I groaned. I know. Katsuki seemed like he was observing me for a few seconds before sticking his hand out to just really help me up. I gladly accepted, pulling myself so he didn't have to do all the work. Hey, let's go out. I chuckled in serenity. What? Yeah, I think you deserve it. Even if you can keep up with me for a while, I know you need breaks sometimes. Plus, it'll be nice. He smiled. It hit me right in my feelings. That smile tugged on my heartstrings like no other. I tried not to blush or smile back, but I couldn't help it. My boyfriend was just too cute. Once he realized that he had just done with his face, he stopped and blushed himself. You didn't see a thing. All I did was nod in agreement with him. It would be interesting to go out with Katsuki and do something. He needed to relax more anyways. He would take a break for one time in an insanity, and use that was an excuse to not go out again. So, what are we going to do? I asked, going with him inside so we could clean ourselves up. We were at my house while my parents were out on their own date. I handed Katsuki a wet cloth so he could get rid of any dirt or filth. Even if I couldn't inflict as much damage as he could to me because of his quirk, I could still land a few punches. I started cleaning myself up. I had a few more little scratches on myself and more dirt. When I put the cloth to my left arm, I winced, feeling an injury I didn't know I had until now. I must have scraped my arm when Katsuki body slammed me. Oh God. There was a bit of blood. That wasn't bad at all. I could just clean it and slap a band-aid on it, and it would be good to go. What happened? Are you okay? The booming voice of my boyfriend made me jump. I looked over and already was holding my arm, looking at the scrape that was barely a wound. I didn't even know that he noticed. I didn't even make a sound about it. He dragged me to the bathroom and sat me down on the counter. He looked through the drawers in a hurry. He was also so aggressive doing this that was kind of hilarious. Katsuki, it's not that serious. Shut up. I'm not taking any chances. Even though I thought he was overreacting, I knew he was just caring. It was sweet. He would deny it, but he had a soft spot. I was enduring. Usually people teased him for it, but I did when we had our first date, but I think that's why he isn't as open about it. At least he could open up to me nowadays, even if he was still a little hesitant. I appreciate it. I would never force him out of his own comfort zone for things like this. This might sting a bit. He warned me as I was so distracted. I didn't notice him. He found the rubbing alcohol and a wet cotton ball with it. He applied the soaked fluff ball to my wound, rubbing to get the blood off me and making sure it didn't get infected. It wasn't as bad as hero training, but it did burn slightly. Nothing bad though. At least he knew it was coming. He finished by putting a band-aid on it, rubbing it, and making it sure it sticked. He stood up. I followed suit. I took a step to leave, but felt arms wrap around me instead. I looked at my boyfriend, paralyzed. He looked full of regret, yet I didn't know why. I hugged him back to signify that it was okay. Come on, let's go get changed, unless you want to walk around in your training clothes, he teased. By training clothes, he meant clothes we both didn't really care for. After we both got changed in private, we headed out. He still didn't tell me where we were going. I don't think he even knew yet. Do you have a plan at all? Of course I do. Just shut up and trust me. I did trust him. I just thought maybe I could help out a little. Not like it hurt my feelings. It was actually quite amusing to see him all like this. Adorable even. While walking side by side with him, our hands brushed against each other a few times. When it was nice, it was an accident each time. If you want to hold my hand so badly, then just do it. I glanced over at him to see he was smiling. He knew that what he was doing. He was a bit confusing from being hard or smiling to doing it so casually. I wasn't complaining though. I slipped my hand into his. And he intertwined our fingers. His hand was bigger and more rough than mine. I wonder if that's because of his explosions come from his hands. Whatever the case is, it didn't matter. His hands still felt nice, and I was just happy to be with him. I smiled contently. Oh my god, is that Bakugou and Lin? We froze in fear. We slowly looked over our shoulders, finding it to be our friends behind us. Mina, Kaminari, Zero, and Kirishima were all together and had just witnessed us holding hands. Kazuki and I forgot we shouldn't have done this whole PDA thing because we're a secret relationship. How could we forget? Our friends were shocked, but also were grinning. Kaminari and Kirishima couldn't help but laugh, for their lives depended on it. Mina was fangirling hard because finally a romance. All I could do was slightly wish for death. Where did I go wrong? Katsuki looked like he wanted to fight all of them, like it was their fault for finding out. Katsuki suddenly yanked me and made a run for it. He didn't want to deal with this right now, and quite frankly, neither did I. There was really no way to explain why we were together holding hands and exploding ourselves. Oh, they're making a run for it, Zero called out. Crap, none of us are that fast, Kirishima said. That didn't stop Mina and Kaminari from trying to catch up to us. They were actually kind of terrifying when they put themselves into something. They weren't going to let go of this without a fight. I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing. Damn it, you idiots, leave us alone, Katsuki yelled at them. No way, Mina and Kaminari yelled back. Katsuki growled. This was such a horrendous in his idea of how this day would go. He'd have to lose his friends somehow, get them off his trail. He took a sharp turn on the corner and threw me over a wall, jumping right after. Twice in a day, I've been thrown onto the ground. My boyfriend landed on his feet next to me, being quiet and trying to listen. We heard a muffled voice of Kaminari and Mina. Where did they go? We must not lose them, Kaminari told her. Aw, dang it, she whined. How could you lose them, Kaminari? He let out an offended gasp. This was a team effort. Ugh, fine, let's split up so we can find them again. You go that way, I'll go this way. I heard them walk away until the panting of their shoes against the pavement finally left my ears. Katsuki still didn't look revealed. I opened my mouth to ask him something, but I heard more footsteps. Damn it, why did Mina and Kaminari have to run off? A mumbled voice of Kirishima complained. I know, right? But hey, it was pretty funny to see Bakugou and Lin together. Sarah chuckled. I felt my cheeks burn up. I just closed my eyes and laid it still in defeat. They walked away as well until I didn't hear them anymore. Just like Mina and Kaminari, I opened my eyes to see Katsuki smirking in victory. Finally, we lost them, he told me. I still didn't respond. Instead, I stared at the beautiful blue sky. He looked over me and jumped when he saw what happened. Fuck, sorry. His grip on my arm and yanked me back up. I dusted myself off, even pulling a few leaves out of my hair. I eyed the place we landed in and figured out it was a park. My eyes went back to Katsuki, who was also looking at me with peering red eyes. We both were wondering what would happen next. Oh, Katsuki, what were we going to do? He crossed his arms. I don't know. Going back to school on Monday was dreadful. Katsuki and I decided that we would pretend that nothing ever occurred. I couldn't stop my nerves and from feeling all jumbled and crap. I sat in my seat, not wanting to interact with anyone. I simply stared at my desk, casually as I could. I was the one who was always the earliest out of our squad, so at least I had a moment of bliss before the storm I was in was here. I heard the door sliding open. I knew it was Katsuki, but my eyes were glued to my desk. I was too scared to look up and at anything. Katsuki sat behind me. Not even 5 seconds passed before the door flew open violently with 4 types of heavy breathing. I started to sweat with terror. Hey, Lin and Bakugou. Kaminari swingered over, placing a hand on my desk and giving a sly look to Katsuki, drawing the attention of all of our classmates. Kirishima, Sarah, and Mina were behind him with their own devilish smirks. Good morning, Kaminari, I greeted him, but still refusing to look up. Katsuki didn't reply. He was most likely more mad than nervous like me. So, where were you guys hanging out after school on the weekend? Sarah continued their assault. I could see Katsuki twitch from the corner of my eye. Yes, we were training, he growled. Oh, that's not all you two were doing. Mina clapped cheerfully. No, one knew, but I and Katsuki, she was a monster. I think you two have a little something going on, Kirishima finished. They all looked at us with expecting looks like we tell them. Did they not know that Katsuki wouldn't falter without a fight? Oh my god. Todoroki of all people laughed. Are you serious? I finally ripped my eyes away from my desk. Katsuki looked like he was fuming on the inside. No, there is nothing going on between us. Yeah, right, you two were totally all over each other, Mina squealed. Really? That doesn't sound like Kachan, Midoriya mumbled. Was the whole class going to get involved? God, it must have been... I can't speak. God, it must have been taking everything in Katsuki's body not to yell at Deku and Icy Hot. That's not true. Katsuki was seething. He was grinding his pencil so hard, I think he might break it. Yeah, Mina. They were just holding hands, Kaminari said, grinning. Whoa, even Chiro was getting on this. I know this is all very exciting, but can everyone please quiet down? Ida yelled at everyone, which just drew more attention to the situation. What's going on? Uraka asked, the rest of the class with her. Lin and Bakugou are going out, Mina and Kamari blared out. Really? Toru squealed. I agree with Ito. While this is interesting, all of us should be seated and silent by now, Momo told us all. No one listened. I think Tokiyami, Jiro, and Todoroki were all most amused by all of this. I, on the other hand, just wanted this to be all over. When was class going to start? I felt like it was taking an eternity. I think the only person who didn't care was Ayama, and that's because he loves himself and himself exclusively. Also, Koda, he's not a talker. Come on, guys. Let's just leave Kachan alone. Slam. Shut the hell up, you damn Deku. I don't need your help. You too. You icy hot bastard. All you just leave us alone. So what if we're dating? Oh my god, that's so great. Zero teared. Everyone was actually happy for us. I guess they began to see through his fiery exterior even much, so when he just looked around confused and blushing with a broken pencil in hand. Whatever, you are all so damn annoying, he mumbled, trying to look away from all the eyes. I'm just a bit surprised. No offense, Lin, but you seem so, small to be with someone like Bakugou, Ojiro pointed out. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised too, Momo agreed. Katsuki pushed himself off of his chair, making everyone look at him again. He had an expressionless face. Even I was a bit worried about what he would do, but when I used my quirk, he didn't seem upset at all. He walked up to me while I was seated. I felt kind of odd when everyone staring at me, but I trusted my boyfriend. He leaned down to my height and hugged me. All the girls awed, while the guys were all just shocked, myself included. I guess since we weren't a secret anymore, stuff like this was fine, so I hugged him back. Listen, I know I may be a hothead, but shh, you don't have to explain to me. I know how you feel, even without using my quirk. He smiled. It was such a soft and pretty one, too. Everyone backed away like it was some demonic thing. My god, it smiles. Todoroki joked. I laughed, and so did Katsuki. All right, that's enough out of you damn nerds. I'm glad you have such a good effort on him. Yin, ribbit. Suyu smiled at me. Yeah, me too. It was nice to be so close with somebody. By now, I couldn't imagine feeling like this about anyone else but him. I knew he felt the same way. Everyone sat down in their seats, much to Momo's and Ida's relief. I handed Katsuki a new pencil so he could do his work. The door slid open, and Mr. Aizawa walked in. Good morning, students. I can already tell you've had an eventful morning, he said, looking at Katsuki and I. Fuck.